How many of us, once we've fallen in any endeavor, or once we've, I don't know, been hurt or something caused us pain, once we went through that, the fall or the pain or the injury, whatever it was, it limited, it created a sense of hesitancy. We drew back from just tackling it head on. Anybody relate to that? Hey, Roger. And I would challenge all of us to say, if we're honest with ourselves, there are certain times, whether it's falling in a relationship or whether, much less in business, much less in sports, it happens all the time. One of the things I want to tell you, Bill, Mr. Epic there, congrats, Bill, on your recent race, man. It's just through the roof. Amazing. So one of the things I want to just talk about, guys, is I'm going to apply the lesson I have in my sport of Nordic skiing. And since many of you don't know about the sport, in the summer, to really excel, for example, in the sport of, say, cross-country skiing, for example, all my ski buddies that competed at a high level in the actual snow season, the winter season, do a lot of dry land training, okay? And the most specific dry land training is to mimic snow skiing. You see the, for those of you who aren't aware of the technique, that's one of the Berkey posters back there. So many of my athletes, including my buddy Bill, who just joined us, one of the very specific cross training is biking, running, power hiking, Nordic walking. But on this live share, I'm just going to touch on roller skiing, and the fact that roller skiing, it does involve some falling at times. I know for me personally, many of you know my story where I was competing and skiing a whole lot, and then I was forced out because of health concerns, getting back into the sport. I recall some videos I was doing about 3 years ago when I was just putting my road skis back on, where I was pretty much falling about every other day. And then it was like once a week, and eventually it was once a month, and now it's maybe once a quarter. But I just took a spill about 3 days ago, and Bill, you can relate to this. I was, fully committed on my right ski. I just had a full weight shift, and I was practicing getting up there to the count of 5 before I would go to my other ski there. And sure enough, I was up about 1,003, 1,004, and boom, I hit just a big enough pebble to where I was down before I even realized I was going down, and I fell correctly in this case, and so I didn't do any lasting damage. But the point I'm making is, once that happens, I put the road skis back on again the next day, because my following day was a bike and the next day was a power hike. But the next day happened to be on my calendar a roller ski. I could have easily said, no, it's time for the hike or bike. But my point is, when I put the roller skis back on, there was this hesitancy to draw back. So when I put the roller skis back on, what I noticed is I was very tentative, and I wasn't aggressively, getting out full, over my skate skis. And the point is that I'm making here, which applies to business and anything in life, is that there's always the chance or the risk of falling. And when we do fall, when we get back up again, the point we're making is to embrace the fact that there's hesitancy, there's nervousness. Hey, Michael. And it's just human nature. The point is, we have to, and working through that, just facing it, getting back into it, and fully committing to the process of stretching again. I know, for those of you who may not know this, just to give you an idea, again, this is the called a roller ski, and it simulates the longer ski that we ski with on snow. But it's like a rollerblade wheel. You see, it's not a very wide wheel. And in essence, the key to the sport that I love, which is cross-country skiing and competing, and you have poles that come up. When I'm on my ski boots, about to my mustache height here, and so you're actually poles are up and you're actually lunging, using a lot of the core muscles. But the point is that one of the fundamentals to skiing well and competing at a high level in this sport here is to be able to fully commit to one ski, or one leg, and then the other fully commit to the other leg. So you can imagine if you're hesitant and you're not willing to stretch and grow, that you'll always be between the two skis. So you'll never fully stretch and take advantage of a long glide when you do push off powerfully. You'll never be really maximizing your ability in this sport as you ski along. So what I'm getting at here, and this applies to business as well, hey Mary, we're going to fall, we're going to make mistakes. And the point is, when we get up again, number one, to realize that it's human nature to be a little hesitant and nervous. But the only way through that is to fully commit. And Joy will tell you, one of the things that, the other lesson that I'm kind of learning and relearning is I go through, one of my goals on the sporting side of things, as you know, we have a global business, I have goals there, but on the athletic side, one of my goals is to ski at the same level of output, heart rate, excursion, or exertion, if you will, but skiing at a faster level. It's so easy and tempting to go out tomorrow in the morning and have an interval workout, to go out there, and if I don't physically push myself out of that comfort zone, I'm going to fall back into my older habits, which is a little more riding back, not fully extending, and definitely not getting 100% of my weight out over one leg at a time on my skis, much less extending out and using my core muscles. So if I go out the next few dryland training sessions and I don't push past what feels comfortable, I'm going to always slip back into my old technique, into my old habits of doing things. And what I mean by that, to push this story a little further, when I go out, for example, and ski, if I go out there and continue just to put my poles on, put for example, my dryland roller skis on, and go out there and maybe let's think about working on technique and go ahead and do my intervals, I'm ingraining the older, a little bit slower pace skiing. Although I'm doing intervals and exercising my heart and lungs, my muscles, I'm not specifically stretching and working on that higher level of efficiency with my skiing. So unless I'm willing to proactively stretch and work on something that's a little past comfortable every time, or even way past sometimes, what I feel is an exaggeration, I will never have that breakthrough. Like, for example, this coming season, there's a World Cup race coming here to the U.S. It's normally in different parts of Europe and Scandinavia. And so that's a big focus. And I have a goal to ski my 50K in 2 hours and 45 minutes or less. Number one, break 3 hours and then break 2:45. But the point is, I will never do that unless I'm willing to kind of reinvent, if you will, my technique and my ability to be more efficient, more aggressive, more powerful. I tend to ski with a little slower. I tend to be a little more graceful, but I don't always have that aggressive, power and strength in my technique that I need to ski at a faster rate or a faster speed, if you will. So until I keep working on my efficiency to ski more powerfully and more effectively at a faster speed and break through my old habits, which my body is always wanting to slip back into. I'll work on a newer, more efficient technique, and then my body will slip back into the old, slower pace and slower speed. So I'm always pushing that. So if I don't keep re-ingraining the new, more powerful, more committed, more aggressive movements, I will never re-ingrain that new technique and habit which I can sustain for 50 kilometers in this case, which is my next race. So, and how does this apply to our business, guys? So obviously I'm sharing with you something that, again, most of my athletic friends, most athletes that I know, especially in this Nordic world, they tend to go to a camp. Like I'm going to a camp, a beautiful camp in Lake Placid next week. Hey, Bill. Yes, great confirmation. Thanks, Bill. He said, train smart, ski fast. I'm going to a camp in Lake Placid with the CXC group. And so many skiers that I've met through the years as well, they go to a camp and they work on technique and they work on different movements and body feel and to ski more efficiently, to ski faster. And then they go back and what they do is they don't always keep stretching and working and ingraining that new feel, that new more efficient technique into their training. That they may work on it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or one day. By the way, thanks. This is my elk hunting beard. I'm going elk hunting in Colorado with my family in a few weeks, and all of us men in the family grow beards. In case you're wondering, I normally am clean shaven. I will be again in November, but for now, through elk hunting season. But anyway, so that's the point I'm making, guys. And there's such a beautiful implication how it applies to our business, because I know in our business, and I've seen it happens to me personally, much less leaders around me, where we do business in a certain way, and things around us, the techniques and the ways of doing business continue to evolve. Principles remain the same. Like the principles of even skiing remain the same. The techniques and how to apply those principles and fundamentals have evolved a heck of a lot in the past 10, 20 years in skiing, much less in business. And it's so easy for all of us to stay on our status quo, and we may try a technique over here on social media or whatever it is, or on communication skills, mentoring, prospecting for a few days, and it becomes a little uncomfortable. We don't always have instant success, and we fall a few times, and it doesn't working, and before you know it, we're going right back to the original old way of doing things, which isn't always the most effective, definitely in business, and it definitely applies in skiing, guys. And so all I'm saying is that I, of all people, go through some of the same junk and the same stuff that all of us go through. I don't always work on ingraining, but I am committed to, and I'm doing this much better, where I'm looking to ingrain the more powerful, more effective, as Bill just said, to build the ability to ski faster, all right, at the same exertion. The only way I can stay in that place and sustain that, say through a 50K race, which is I have several this season, is to continue to catch myself when I'm sliding back into my old habits, my old way of doing things. Because the old way of doing things is, yes, I can ski a 3-hour, for example, 50K this winter. That's what I did last year. But I have loftier ambition. I want to ski faster. I want to ski stronger. And I will. But the only way I'm going to do that is to keep pushing past. And I'm going to fall a few times. And it's going to feel awkward. And I'm going to feel like a klutz. Some of those techniques and some of those, trainings which get me over past my comfort zone. But that's the only way to ingrain the ability to ski, in this case, to ski faster. To ski faster, longer, better. And in our business, same thing. I have to continually evolve and grow and learn and be willing to stretch and fail and fall. That's my lesson on this share. Hope this serves you. These Facebook Lives are, what I'm doing is I'm sharing with you lessons that I'm applying, that I'm learning, and I'm going through as well. I've never, if you ever catch me where I'm on a soapbox just preaching to you, please shake me up and slap me around a little bit. metaphorically. Anyway, I love you guys, and love to get your comments below. And on top of that, hope you gain a few insights into what us crazy skinny skiers do when there's not snow around. So these are my little pose. By the way, they dig into, these aren't snow tips. This is what digs into the pavement. So, and you've seen the roller skis. So, all right, guys, create an amazing day. You deserve it. And again, the easy way is status quo, where we just try something new temporarily, slip back. The harder way, but the much more rewarding way to our goals is when you try it on, you're going to fall, try it on, fall, try it on. But see, we're getting better and better, and before you know it, you know, we're that new, faster, more effective leader, in this case skier. Have a great day. You deserve it.